These gigantic stone statues were created many centuries ago on a deserted island, located thousands of miles away from human civilization. We are talking about that small point in the Pacific Ocean, which the world knows as Easter Island, or Rapa Nui. This place lies about 3,700 kilometers away from South America, and far to the north of Polynesia, where even the nearest land is thousands of kilometers away. This remote place hides within it those massive stone faces that have been watching the ocean waves for centuries. We know them as the Moai statues. They are not just statues, they are the story of a lost civilization. Their large foreheads, deep eyes, and confident expressions force us to ask questions. Who were these people? How did they come here? And what led to their end? So today, we will deeply explore every detail of the Moai statues, from their creation to their downfall. Using scientific research and local stories, we will try to uncover this mystery, so get ready for a journey that will truly shake your mind. First, let us understand the foundation of this island. The ancient name of Rapa Nui is Tepito o Tehenua, which means the navel of the world. It came to be known as Easter Island because the Dutch explorer Jacob Roggeveen arrived here in 1722 on Easter Sunday, and he was completely shocked when he saw the Moai statues. However, the true history of this island began many centuries before that day. Some theories suggest that Polynesian navigators reached this island between 400 and 800 AD, while the majority of research places their arrival around 1200 AD. Just imagine, in a time with no modern tools, how they managed to travel thousands of miles across the ocean. Their navigational skills were extraordinary. After arriving here, a remarkable civilization developed on this small island, one that was far ahead of its time. And the greatest and most astonishing legacy of this civilization are the Moai statues. The people of Rapa Nui worshipped their ancestors, and they firmly believed that these statues would preserve the power and blessings of their ancestors on the island. This spiritual energy was called mana. The Moai were the central symbols of their religion and culture. Each Moai was carved with a large head and a faded, incomplete body. They were made from volcanic lava rock, and their eyes were special. The eyes were crafted from coral and a red stone called scoria, giving the impression that the Moai were guarding the island with the power of their ancestors. One of the most fascinating features is the pukau. The pukau was a large red scoria stone topknot placed on the head of the Moai, making them appear even more significant and powerful. The pukau itself is a mystery because lifting and placing it on top of the Moai required immense effort, and beyond transportation, it was yet another extraordinary engineering challenge. The Moai were not placed at random locations. They were installed on massive stone platforms called ahu. Ahu were actually important ceremonial sites where ancestors were worshipped. There are more than 300 ahu sites across the island. All of these statues were carved at a single volcanic crater called Rano Raraku. This crater is famously known as the Moai Factory. Even today, around 400 unfinished Moai statues can be seen at Rano Raraku, as if the work was suddenly abandoned. We have mentioned their weight before, but it is important to truly understand it. The average Moai weighed around 14 tons, roughly equal to 5 large SUVs, and to move and raise them, the islanders had nothing but ropes and wood. Now we come to the mystery that has left even the world's top scientists puzzled. How was it possible to transport such massive statues from the Rano Raraku quarry to the Ahu platforms? The distance was not short, and the path was full of slopes and uneven terrain. To explain this, 3 major theories have been proposed. According to the first theory, the Moai were placed on wooden rollers and dragged forward. However, archaeological research suggests that the island had very few strong, straight trees capable of supporting such enormous weight. And realistically, rolling such a gigantic stone would have been extremely dangerous. At every turn, it could have turned into a major accident. The second theory is the walking theory, and this is considered the most fascinating and realistic explanation. According to local stories, the Moai walked to their destinations on their own. Does this sound like just a myth? Not really. Scientists Terry Hunt and Carl Lipo attempted to prove this theory in a practical way. They argued that the shape of the Moai itself made this possible. The base of the statues was slightly rounded and tilted forward. Using 3 strong ropes, the statues could be gently rocked from side to side, allowing them to move forward step by step. This technique required far fewer trees and was much more stable than rolling. Of course, it was a very slow process, but history shows us that great achievements are often the result of patience. According to the third theory, some people believe that if all of this was not possible through human effort alone, then perhaps some unknown or alien power helped lift and move the Moai. However, without any scientific evidence, this idea remains nothing more than a mystery and speculation. As magnificent as the creation of the Moai statues was, the end of the civilization was just as tragic. At one time, this island was covered with trees and dense forests, but when European explorers finally arrived, the island was almost completely barren, and the Moai statues had been knocked down and left lying on the ground. It appeared as if a great war or a massive disaster had destroyed everything. To explain the downfall of this place, two major theories have been put forward. The first theory is environmental destruction, and this is the most widely accepted explanation. To transport the Moai, to practice farming, and to build canoes, the people of Rapa Nui cut down almost all of their large trees. In doing so, they destroyed their own environment with their own hands. Once the trees were gone, the consequences were severe. The land lost its fertility, food production became extremely difficult, and without trees to build boats, they could no longer fish in the ocean. Hunger and scarcity led to internal conflict and civil war within the society. People began attacking one another, and in anger over their own mistakes, they started toppling the Moai statues, the very symbols of their ancestors. Another fascinating explanation suggests that when the Polynesian settlers arrived on the island, they unknowingly brought rats along with them. Because the island had no natural predators, the rat population grew rapidly. These rats ate almost all the tree seeds, preventing new trees from ever growing. According to this theory, humans did cut down the trees, but the rats destroyed the island's ability to regenerate its forests, pushing the ecosystem toward collapse. When the Europeans arrived, they brought even greater disasters with them. Diseases and slavery wiped out what little population remained on the island. Only a small number of Rapa Nui people survived, carrying forward the legacy of their ancestors. So now, let us come to the final part of this grand story. The Moai statues prove that the human mind and hard work can achieve extraordinary things, even without modern machines. Moving a 14-ton stone using nothing but ropes and human strength shows that no challenge is too great when determination and intelligence come together. Easter Island was like a small planet, where people exhausted all their resources for their own ego and immediate needs. It serves as a warning for us. If we fail to protect our environment, our future could be just as tragic as that of Rapa Nui. History has a habit of repeating itself. Like Rapa Nui, many great civilizations have collapsed because of their own mistakes. The Moai teach us that power and art alone are not enough. What truly matters is responsibility toward our lives and toward the environment we depend on. So what do you think? Which theory did you find the most convincing? Do share your thoughts in the comments section. Like the video, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We'll meet again with another fascinating story. Until then, thank you.